Hey everyone, I'm Armor Gaming, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to a monster analysis on the upcoming marathon monster, Noir. So use this video, share it with your teammates. Hopefully this video can help you figure out whether or not you want to get this monster super ranked up or whether you just want to unlock the monster unranked. With that being said, welcome everyone, the newest nature mythic monster, which is funny because we just had a nature mythic monster. However, we had a controller, now we're going to have an attacker. So everyone meet Noir. After his student Rosioku turned her back on him, Kihaku decided he couldn't take any chances with the next pupil under his watch. So instead of accepting someone new, he took an old relic he owned and broke it to extract a piece of amber in its core. He used the amber to create his very own perfect disciple. That's how Noir was born, with her reptilian agility and instincts. Oh wow, so Kihaku is actually the creator of Noir. That's interesting. However, once again, Kihaku ended up feeling like he had failed because as Noir grew up, her interest turned towards boxing instead of traditional monster art. Kihaku had created the perfect fighter, just not the one he'd been trying to create. Ah, poor Kihaku. First he's betrayed, and then his disciple ended up going through a different type of fighting style. So anyhow, here we have Noir. Once again, this will be the team race monster in the Cobra Punch Marathon. And so, those are the stats at level 150 when it's completely maxed out. And so let's see, Noir is a nature attacker with extra turns. With the right combo, she can perform up to 4 attacks in a row, dealing damage and applying effects such as Bleeding Daze. So it's interesting because we've been seeing, I feel like we're going to see a mythic monster in every element that can perform like 3 or 4 attacks per turn. We saw this with Ra, we also saw it with the recent monster, ooh, the name escapes me right now, Nightingale. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing more extra turn attackers. So I think it's almost inevitable that we are going to be seeing an anticipation mythic monster sometime. I know we have Miseris, but I really don't believe that Miseris can really do much, right? If you let an enemy mythic monster attack you 4 turns, you're in trouble, and the best Miseris can do is Dark Paradox to remove positive effects or a 50% life heal. With that being said, let's keep going. She can also remove negative status effects from herself and gain life and stamina regen. Noir has an evolving trait. At rank 0, she's immune to blind. This will help you against, right now I can think of Ilian, who relies on blind. At rank 1, she gains immunity to daze. Yep, it's more like, this trait is almost like a counter to Ilian. And at rank 3, she becomes a status caster, gaining stamina regen at the start of every battle. Stamina regen is very nice on a monster that can utilize extra turn skills, especially because certain relics trigger once you damage an enemy monster enough. So imagine like you attack an enemy, your stamina is drained, and then you have to recharge. Not Noir. Noir has the ability at rank 3 to stamina regen. So just going off the trait, considering this is an extra turner, considering you can attack up to 4 attacks in 1 turn, you're going to need the stamina regen. So already I feel pretty confident saying, if you're going for this monster, rank 3 is the bare minimum you need this monster at, just to get that stamina regen. I would argue that's more useful than the blind and the daze. However, now this also means she's super susceptible to being stunned, to being frozen, to being possessed. Not really, because even if you're possessed, because you have extra turn skills, you attack one of your teammates, yeah, you damage your own team, but then you gain control of the monster again. So I would argue she's kind of immune to possession in a way. You still attack a teammate, but at least, at least you regain control. With that said, let's talk about the stats. So this monster has a life stat of 50,669, and this is actually one of the lowest life stats in the game. It's not the lowest, but it's one of the lowest. It's actually tied with Ondana, one of the newer monsters that's also being released at the same time as Noir, so they both have 50,669, so they are not tanky whatsoever. In terms of speed stat, honestly, this is right around the middle. 4774, this is actually tied with Dr. Watts, just to give you guys some comparison. So overall, the most impressive thing about this monster is the power and the fact that it's an extra turner. We already went over the traits. In terms of relics, this monster can hold, oh my gosh, this monster can even hold the banner relic. So kind of how we have Xyla the Faithful, another extra turner. Xyla the Faithful, the fact that she can hold the charging banner, she never has to worry about stamina. So honestly, even if you don't get this monster ranked up to rank 3 with self stamina regen, you're totally fine. Get yourself a golden charging banner, put it on this monster, and you never have to worry about stamina. On top of that, you also have a mask. I mean, there's masks that you can also utilize to give yourself stamina. I think it's Jazzar's mask, so you're good to go. Jazzar's mask, if an enemy has more than 75 stamina when you attack them, you recover pretty much all of your stamina, depending on the level. So, I mean, this monster is fine. In terms of other masks you can hold, you can give yourself Talonay's mask, you can give armor for your whole team. Like, you pretty much have anything you pretty much have anything you need, right? And with that being said, this monster's in the female book, the superheroes book, and the good legions book. Alright, so let's look at the skills. Really quickly, I am noticing that her cooldowns are pretty high with the exception of one skill in skills group 2, so we'll get there eventually. So tier 1, we have Next Round. Removes all negative effects from itself, applies life regen and stamina regen to itself. So this skill's, the good thing about this skill is the negative effect removal, and on top of that, life regen and stamina regen. The life and stamina regen can work really well on this monster specifically. Because she has extra turn skills, you can actually take advantage of the life regen and stamina regen, like, as soon as you get your next turn in. So even if you turn transfer back into Noir, with the life regen for 3 turns, that's like plus 75% HP. You're going to be back to max life. And with the stamina regen, again, you don't have to worry about exhausting stamina. And honestly, looking at the stamina right now, 26, 23, 33, 29, 40, 40, that is not a high stamina cost, especially considering mythic monsters have higher stamina than legendary monsters. Alright, let's see what else we have. Toxic Tat. Deals moderate nature damage to all enemies, applies poison to all enemies. We have an AoE nature-based attack. This sounds to me like it's going to be your finisher attack. If you're facing a Megaton monster, like, for sure you're going to be able to kill Megaton monsters, utilize your extra turn skills, and then if you need to blast them hard, you have Toxic to be able to use. So the cool thing about this monster having extra turn skills, I believe that even if you have this monster unranked, and even if you face like a 130 Centurion, a 130 Dunraw, whatever, because you have extra turn skills and then you have this nature-based AoE, I believe you're probably going to be able to take down any Megaton monster you want. So we are really seeing the end of Megaton monsters. So until we get a Mythic Megatons, your unranked Mythic monsters are pretty much going to be able to take on ranked up legendary monsters, at least the way I see it with these monsters. You can do it with the Raw, you can do it with Nightingale, and now you can do it with Noir. Now let's see what else we have. Lukary. This is actually a skill on Lukary. That's actually a monster name, actually. So let's see. Deals low physical damage to an enemy, applies bleed to an enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself. So the coolest thing about this skill is that it is physical damage. It is not an elemental based. It's not even special damage. So actually this monster deals a lot of physical attacks. Now you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I was actually playtesting physical damage and what does that actually entail. I used to think that physical damage would override evasion. That doesn't appear to be the case anymore. Maybe when it was first released, it would. I was also thinking maybe if an enemy has skill mirror, it wouldn't get reflected. It still does get reflected. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe if an enemy has like legendary phobic shield, where they only take damage from a specific element, in that case, the special element, that maybe physical, because it's not really an element, you would be able to override that. That also didn't appear to be the case. So I guess I'm not entirely sure what the purpose of the physical element is, but I guess there's some advantages. Like, for one, it's almost like special in which there is no elemental disadvantage. And then I'm also thinking, like, if you're facing, I guess, like, let's say you face a warmaster remntar who protects his team from taking damage from special elements, well, at least instead of having special, you have a physical attack. So I guess that's the advantage. But other than that, it's basically just 25 damage. You bleed the enemy, you gain an extra turn. Your next skill is Psykin, deals low physical damage to an enemy, and this is 20 damage. You also daze the enemy, you give yourself 1 extra turn. This has a 1 turn cooldown. So this is awesome because let's say you're in a situation where you cannot even kill the enemies. You can do Psykin, daze 1 enemy monster, Lukary, bleed another enemy monster, and then Psykin again, daze another enemy monster. So now 2 monsters would be dazed. Daze reduces damage output by 25% and accuracy by 25%, and then thanks to the bleed, that reduces damage output on 1 monster by 20%, or maybe you single target bleed and daze. So if you're facing a strong enemy mythic attacker, you can potentially reduce that monster's damage output by like 40% net. So that's awesome. Oh, not to mention, you would end off with Toxic Poison, which further reduces the damage output on the enemy monster by 20%. So essentially, you can really dampen the enemy's mythic monster attackers thanks to your Poison, your Bleed, and your Daze. So even though the monster is an attacker, you could use it just as a huge damage reduction. It's almost like a major damage reduction. That's pretty cool. Moving on to tier 3, we have Sok Tong, deals massive physical damage to an enemy. Oh my gosh, that is powerful. That is mighty powerful. This is your OTK potential right here. 65 massive damage. Fortune cooldown, I can see why. That is powerful. And then we have Karadate. So Karadate deals moderate physical damage to all enemies. So compared this to Toxic, it is physical element over nature element. And it's just 35 damage over 30. So against a Megaton monster, that's an extra 15 damage. So let's see how this monster cycles. You do Psykin, you do Lukary, you do Psykin, and then you finish off with whatever attack you want. I mean, this monster is super powerful. The way I see this monster, you can easily take out the whole enemy team because you do Psykin on 1 enemy monster, Lukary on another enemy monster, Psykin on a 3rd enemy monster, and then you blast everyone with your 35 damage AoE. So you can potentially kill everyone in 1 turn. Or you do Psychic on one enemy monster, Nuke on that same enemy monster, and then Psychic again. So that's 20 plus 25 plus 20, that's 65, the 65 damage, and then you do Sok Tong on another enemy monster. So now you dealt 65 damage on 2 enemy monsters. And if one enemy monster happens to be alive, that better be the monster that has bleed. So that's another way I see it. So you're either killing all 3 monsters or you're killing 2 monsters with Noir. So definitely a powerful monster. And actually look at the ultimate. KO, KO, KO applies immediate death to an enemy monster. So you might get lucky. RNG might be in your favor. You might get your ultimate. And then after you just did Psychic, Nuke Psychic, it's like, hey, I got my ult. Let me choose you. And you're dead. So as long as the enemy monster doesn't have immunity to instant death, they are automatically dead. That's crazy. Noir is a super powerful monster. Is this monster worth getting in the team race? I would say so. I mean, it's almost like Nightingale, right? If there's no anticipation, if there's nothing that can be done to stop the extra turners, they can dominate. And Noir, with all the skills I mentioned, she can definitely dominate. In terms of how you would ruin this monster, I would say 2 strength and a speed. I would say you can even do 1 strength and 2 speed, and then your teammates can be team speed and just have her go first and just start attacking back and forth. Like, she's powerful. She's such a powerful monster, especially because players are going to be getting her ranked up. Ooh, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with, because right now we really don't have an answer to extra turn monsters, right? Other than bring a Megaton, but the Megaton monster can die easily. You can bring an Anticipation monster, but if it's a legendary Anticipation monster, I am sorry, they're going to die. Noir can probably OTK them. A Noir that's like rank 4 with like a level 10 rune, a level 2 level 10 strength runes can probably OTK Ragnarök any day of the week. So she is definitely going to be quite a formidable monster. So with that being said, that has been my analysis on Noir. Now I want to hear from all of you guys. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this monster? Let me know, are you going to be racing hard for this monster? In the comments below, I want to know your team name. I want to know how many laps do you think your team is going to be going for. So with that being said, I'm Armor Gaming. Thank you all for watching, and remember to subscribe.